Welcome everybody. I am 7Draws6. I am the DM for 7th Roll most of the time, currently once again. And this is once again a series on the new UA that dropped for me yesterday, for when you people see this video probably 2 days ago. So this is a video that's going to be, as per usual, whenever one of these drops, I make a series that pretty much goes through the entire UA, kind of talks about it. This is a first opinion video. I have not read any of this. I have heard a couple of basic spoilers, as per usual, because the internet never allows you to not hear stuff. So pretty much the way that you can see this is just me reading through it for the first time, sharing my thoughts, sharing my opinions. I do have the Player's Handbook, the current 5th edition one, open on another screen to kind of compare. I am also very likely going to compare back to previous UAs, although I do need to open those, I just realized, but it doesn't really matter that much. Excuse me. But pretty much this is therefore just going to be me comparing it from like a DM standpoint. I've already heard that it's going to be 50 pages, so I'm going to have a lot of work to do with this. This is going to be a lot of fun. But anyway, now before, however, I kick off the entire series this time, I do want to kind of throw it back a little bit to how I started the 4th series, how I started, I think that was the Druid and Paladin series, which is, this is not an endorsement to buy stuff from Wizards of the Coast. I'm pretty much doing this because A, this stuff is free, B, because I've played 5th edition and I still play 5th edition, and sometimes I take stuff from this and I can put it into my own games. For example, the exhaustion rules from last time were pretty interesting. So there is that. There is, however, a very low probability that I'm actually going to buy the new D&D edition if it pops up. Just want to mention that to people because this is also kind of my way of telling you guys, don't, you know, ever since the OGL thing, there's a very low amount of faith in Wizards of the Coast. I think that's very well deserved. Are there people there that we're going to punish by not buying this? Yes, but I don't know. I don't know what else you want me to say. And then, you know, new stuff came out. For example, we saw their virtual tabletop, which it looks pretty, and that's all, really. It does not seem practical in any way, shape, or form for anyone who doesn't know how to work like a program like Blender or whatever. And then recently some other stuff came up. I'm not going to talk about that because I don't know the details of it. So there's probably people out there who can explain it a lot better. If you wanted to look at the OGL stuff, there is a video on the channel that really goes in depth on my thoughts on what happened there, and not the full story. But yeah, some important pointers. But anyway, with that out of the way, let's get to the interesting part. Interesting part. Let's hope is going to be interesting. Let's get to the Player's Handbook Playtest 5, which I'm assuming that's the reason that it's 50 fucking pages, because they decided, hey, let's throw a million things in here. I think they needed a win. Is that just me? Did they need a win or something? Anyway, document is part of a series of Unearthed Arcana articles, present yada yada yada. We already know this. What's new? Weapons. New options for weapons appear here for you to try out. Perfect. Always happy for new things. Spells. More spells are ready for playtesting. I don't know if that means that they made new spells or they're, like, fucking up other spells again. Feats. Several epic boon feats and the Weapon Master feat appear here. Okay, so epic boons. Here's the thing, right? And I know that I don't really talk about this in the other videos, but it's something that I've been thinking about. Like, why are they putting such an emphasis on epic boons all of a sudden? Barely anybody, not nobody, but barely anybody plays the 20, right? Like, they have no material for 17 to 20 because 17 to 20 is so difficult to balance. Sure, they added like, oh, you now have a capstone epic boon at level 18 or 20, I don't even remember. Like, why are they putting such an emphasis on this shit? Like, oh. And Weapon Master, I don't know what that is going to be. Is that like the fact that you get 4 proficiencies? Because if that's it, then I am going to shut down my phone, because otherwise this is going to be very annoying for me. If you would excuse me for a second as I turn off my phone. Thank you. I have no idea why I'm talking like this now. Regardless. 5 classes. 5 classes are ready for playtesting: Barbarian, Fighter, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. So then we are missing Monk. Monk. Why are we missing... Oh, probably because that's the one that needs the most changes, right? Like, isn't Monk, like... Apart from Ranger, but Ranger got a decent chunk of changes due to not UA. Well, technically UA, but then also thanks to Tasha's, and then like a lot of people were like talking about Monk being a really weak class, although I did play one and it was fine. Yeah, I mean, I guess Monk. They're probably gonna rework Monk really heavily. Then I'm assuming. So Barbarian, Fighter, Sorcerer, Warlock, and Wizard. All right, cool. And then they're also going to give us revised versions. For the love of God, revised Druid. Rules Glossary. The Rules Glossary has been updated again. Supersedes the Glossary. So again, as per usual, you do not need to pay attention to the previous Rule Glossary. That is the one part that you can drop from all the previous UAs if you use this one. All right. Yeah, so this article is presented for playtesting and feedback, or experimental in draft form, yada yada yada. How to playtest, yeah, do it in play, sure, whatever, buddy. I mean, this is literally, how do you read our document? If you combine it, use only the rules glossary found here. We already knew that. To play with this material, you may either incorporate it into your campaign or run one or more special playtest sessions. Yeah, no, thank you. It's very much appreciated. I'm also going to have a bottle of water because apparently it's a 50-page document. All right, power level might be more or less powerful. I mean, yeah. And then feedback, sure, how to give feedback. All right. So that's the introduction done. I mean, sure. All right, let's get to the first part.